passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Nuoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's come back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot have fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching. And Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it.
Oh, look at the Tyson! They haven't got it!
He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such trouble. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's gonna do it! Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to PRL. It's time for round 8 of Season 12, and we have made our way over to Qatar for what should surely be an important race in terms of the championship battle. My name is Darragh Thacker, joined by Alex up in the commentary box. And Alex, when we've got a tight championship battle, Scarenzi, Rab and that sim racer, 16 points between them. It's really anybody's game with 3 rounds to go.
Yep, it certainly is. And I wouldn't say don't count out XD Paco as well. I don't know if she's racing today. He's not racing today. So, oh no, he is racing, but don't count him out either. 98 points. If something happens to those top 3, we've got 3 rounds left. This is the first of our 3 final rounds in Qatar. Very interesting circuit, new to the calendar. We'll get straight into the action because we're just jumping into qualifying now. 18 minutes to sort out the grid here. 16 drivers on our grid, not a full grid today, Darragh, but are you looking forward to this afternoon? I quite like this circuit personally.
Yeah, well, it is a circuit that demands quite a lot from the drivers, isn't it? Because, of course, we can have quite a lot of ERS management at show, quite a lot of red flashing lights at the rear of the car, and, of course, difficult on-track limits. We might see quite a lot of invalidated lap times and some time penalties by the end of the race. So lots to look out for in this one. Not the biggest grid that we've ever seen here in PRL, but it just means that these drivers have that much more of a chance to gain some good points. Of course, 8 points for pole in qualifying, all the way down to 1 for 8th, and then of course 25 points for the winner. So lots of points still to play for, and really, if you want to be winning the title, you've got to position yourself well in this race.
Yep, certainly for sure you have to. And the interesting about Qatar, we mentioned it briefly last week around Jeddah. Now this circuit has a very interesting feature about it where you actually run out of ERS of deployment before the end of the lap. If you have it from the start of your lap to the end of the lap, it will run out going down the back straight. So you need to be very cautious with your ERS deployment here. So I reckon during the middle sector, they're going to turn it off for a couple of corners and then turn it back on for the main straight.
It's something that we don't really see, isn't it? So it's going to be a bit of a challenge for these guys to try and adjust to that. We'll see if anybody does decide to maybe save a bit of ERS through that middle sector and then try and use it down that main straight, of course, so that they can gain a tenth or two up towards the line. So Alex is going to be the first driver to set a flying lap, warming up the tyres now. But yeah, Qatar's another track as well where we often see quite a lot of track evolution, so the final runs could be crucial.
Yep, they certainly could be. It's one of those things where you need to sort of build up and build up and build up. And yet, it's a track that obviously it's in the desert, so it's more of it's a MotoGP track in the end of the day, isn't it? It's not a Formula 1 track, but it's been adjusted for Formula 1. Curbs are quite vicious around here. The most vicious thing around here, though, is track limits. And let's see if Salek can keep it in between the lines as he goes for his first flying lap here around the Qatar circuit.
Yeah, let's see this one then. As Salek gets us underway, of course, turn 1, it's a tricky old corner, isn't it, to open up the lap, because you want to carry all the momentum, all the speed through there, but really keep your foot in on the throttle through 5th for Salek. Turn 2 is very similar. It's really why you see quite a lot of ERS being used, isn't it, because we see so much on-throttle action all the way through the lap, through turn 2 particularly, then turn 3, you're off it a little bit, but you can still see how much speed you're taking through the corners, pretty much flat out through 4 as well, through 5 actually as well. So by the end of the first sector, I mean, you've used a lot of the battery, and it's just a characteristic of the track that we don't see elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, you're already 50% battery used just through this this middle sector here, and yeah, it's so fast and flowing, this circuit. One of those circuits like Saudi where you have to be on it every single corner because they come at you so quickly. Now going through what is the middle sector and hitting the final sector. Now this is all flat. You don't want to let off the throttle here. Flat through the right-hander. Flat once again through this right-hander. Will it be flat through here? Oh, we tried it, and it's invalidated lap. That is where the issues come here on this lap here, Darragh, because that can happen to you.
It can happen to you, and that's the issue, I think, at Qatar that we often see compared to other tracks that we do go to. But I mean, let's keep an eye on anybody else who can set a lap time. Eric is purple through the middle sector, apparently, as he flies into this triple right-hander. 1, 2, and then the third, all negotiated smoothly. It's something that I do, shifting down through that corner, because, of course, it means that you don't have to back off. You can just keep yourself full throttle, and the engine braking does a little bit of work for you.
So Rapid Mini there, actually setting a lap time on the medium tyres. I don't actually have the tyre graphic on. I normally do. That's my bad. Grab that for you. There you go. We can find out who's on what tyre. And it is Eric who goes to the top of the timesheets with a 1:20.9 ahead of Rapid Scissor. And then Emerald Plays putting 4th fastest. Now, the man who set a quite remarkable lap time last week, still in the pits, XT Paco, who was rapid around the streets of Jeddah. Now, another similar sort of fast-flowing circuit. Could we see another sort of lap time like that?
We very well might do, of course. Different circuits in terms of walls are a little bit further away, but we will have to see how this one does unfold. In the championship, of course, he is down in P4. He's tied with Eric, but he's getting a lot of points in qualifying, and that's really picking him up, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, it's not a point where it's impossible for him to get to the top of the time. Well, top of the, I was going to say top of time sheets. I'm sure he could get to top of time sheets at the top of the championship. Like it's technically, I think, still feasible with the points we score from qualifying, but it's definitely not the easiest thing in the world. So Finbop on his lap time here, set a purple sector 1 apparently, but obviously we'll find out if that's true when we cross the line, because you never can trust the sector times unless they're compared to someone else's. So Finbop still flying through his lap here as he continues to push his Mercedes-Benz, going through the final sector here. He's looking pretty good so far, and he's getting himself through. So hopefully Darragh can see the game now. He's had a couple of issues with Discord, but I think he's back now. So Finbop going through the final sector now, looking to set his first lap time.
Yes, I'm very sorry. I've done. Every commentator will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that I started talking and forgot that I hadn't unmuted myself.
We've all done that.
So we've all been there. So yeah, I can only apologise for that. But Finbop does go P3 with a 21.9. It's a relatively good lap time ahead of Rapid Mini. Let's see what the likes of Scorenzi can do.
Well,
but
second.
It's important to get a good time at the start of this qualifying session, and that's exactly what he's done.
Yep, important, get those times on the board. A lot of people are not coming out the pits early on. Are they at a point where you would say they don't need to get a lap time on the board because they think this first part of qualifying, the track is still improving, you can wait a little bit longer, and then you can get a good lap time on the board towards the end of the session?
Yeah, I think that's always a thought, isn't it, for a lot of these guys, but you don't really want to be leaving it too late. I mean, we've all been there where, you know, we've invalidated the first couple of runs, and we all know really how much pressure you get put under to deliver in the final runs, and you don't really improve to the time that you really could do. So it's going to be important for these guys who haven't set a lap time yet to get one in relatively soon, so that they can really go at it for a final run.
Yep, and AJ Mackey on his first run, coming around the final couple of corners now. One final corner to go. Of course, this pit lane has actually changed in real life. It'll be changed in the new game coming very soon, I believe. Obviously, we've got some gameplay information on it this week. AJ Mackey across the line, and it's going to put him fourth fastest with a 1:21.9. Only just fourth fastest, but only just is good enough right now. Going to see Rabin come up to the line now in his Sauber, looking to come down the main straight. Can he set himself up top of the timesheets? He certainly can. 1:20.7, very quick lap time there. Darragh puts himself ahead of Eric as Salek goes fifth fastest.
Yeah, it's a very good lap time from him early on in this qualifying session. I say early on, we're about halfway through now, aren't we? So good to get the time on the board at this stage of qualifying, but difficult to really see exactly how this is going to pan out. Of course, lots of different drivers in this session, all in with a shout. Rabin is definitely one of those drivers, but I mean, we've still got a couple of drivers who haven't yet set a time in terms of Paco. Basil, of course, reigning champion. Crew Steamers, Rapid Connors, there or thereabouts regularly. So still times I think we're waiting for to come in this session.
And of course, just riding off board, sorry, with XD Paco. He's going for his first flying lap of the session. We saw what he could do around the streets of Jeddah in what was a almost alien-like lap time from the Ferrari driver. As I think he's lost the road there, Darragh. He's going to explore the scene.
Yeah, that's not the way. I mean, maybe he's gone to try and watch some of the football, but he's a bit late for that. If he wants to see the World Cup, he's really not going the right way. But he's just got to warm the tyres on this outlap. Let's see if he can do that nicely. Of course, best way to do that: half throttle, half brake, and really just warming the tyres all the way through the lap. Make sure you put enough fuel in the car. Don't forget about that. But he's going to really be wanting to set a good lap time, and I'm sure we're going to see him light up the timing screens when he does.
Yep, I certainly will. A little bit of a change around there. So, going through the middle sector now on his outlap. Obviously, fastest time so far is Rabin with a 1:20.7, and then about a 2/10 gap behind to Eric, and then about another 2/10 gap behind to Scorenzi, followed by another 3/10 gap to Rapid Scissors. So, interesting top four at the moment. I reckon XD Paco could set a provisional pole here. If he wants a chance of this title, a late title charge, very late title charge, he needs pole position.
Yeah, he really. I mean, and the 8 points that comes with it really helps you out, doesn't it? So there's all these different elements that really kind of provide an exciting championship picture that we have here in PRL, particularly in Tier 1, but also in Tier 2 as well, which will be on tomorrow evening. But Paco is one of the drivers that really needs the points now if he's going to get in with a chance at the title, and so pole and a win really is going to be a minimum for him.
Yeah, and what is going on here down the main straight here, Darragh? Bit of strange going. Oh, bit of wheel barging there on the qualifying laps.
It's not really what you want to see, is it?
No.
In qualifying, just leave it for the race. Well, don't even leave it for the race. I don't really want to be seeing them barging their way through anyway, do they? So, yeah, this is gonna be an interesting one. But sometime left in qualifying, I'm gonna try and get myself into the session in the next couple of minutes just to try and avoid.
Is the stream not working?
It's being iffy. Should we put it that way?
Discord
being
iffy.
iffy.
Yes, unfortunately, my
I
internet
am
sometimes is occasionally terrible. So, see if you can get yourself into the lobby. As XD Paco is going faster lap here. Actually, I find it's always better when there's two people in the lobby because even if only one of us, you can only see one of our cameras, it means that we can both watch two different people and I can swap between them. As XD Paco goes wide in the final corner, invalidates and pulls into the pits.
Yeah, it's not good for XD Paco then if he's not going to be able to set a lap time here. I mean, he's got to really do it in the end of the session. And for a driver who needs the points, you don't really need to be putting the pressure on yourself like that. Scorenzi's going to be pleased to see this. And that's Sim Race as well, because he's not in the session, is he?
Nope, that Sim Racer is not here today, it seems. So there could be a gap. Points gap opened up.
Yeah, and just at the wrong point of the season for him in terms of wanting to wanting to keep the pressure on, really wanting to keep himself in the lead of the championship to make him being the chase, because it's much easier to really, think, well, I don't have to make this move at the end of the season than really needing to.
And going through the right hand now, Scorenzi looking to get down the main straight. Can he get himself up onto that provisional pole time? And I think he can. Oh, he misses out by about a 1/10 of a second. Just missing out on that time. Less than a 1/10 of a second, I should say. But good lap. Rafa Mini, unfortunately, invalidated. Salek is improving his lap right now. Have you managed to find yourself into the lobby yet, Darragh? Or
I am doing my best at the moment, but my Xbox is being a little bit slow. So I am trying, and I'm also trying to see
keep
if
an eye
Discord
on.
works in the meantime.
Yes, hopefully
But
Discord
it's the joys of modern technology, isn't it?
It is, yes. Obviously, we have this ability to stream to you over the internet to show you virtual racing, but unfortunately, it doesn't always work like you expect it to. Maybe it's better if I stream my OBS to you, so you can see it through OBS. But my OBS is quite laggy, so maybe not.
Yeah, it's right. It's starting to work now. So this might start to work for me. But qualifying ending soon. Time's really at this point gonna have to be now or never, aren't they?
Yep, now or never for these drivers, especially for Salak, looking for his lap time. It could be his last lap time of the session because of where he is placed on track with 4 minutes to go. He's going to cross the line. Can he take provisional pole? He can take 4th place, 1:21.1. Does improve his lap time, but not by as much as I think he would have wanted. Emerald Plays is 3 seconds down his lap time. He's not improving. So we got people coming down the pit lane. Crew Steamers is out on track. We got Basil setting his lap time in the Aston Martin. Can he be Fernando Alonso-esque in that Aston Martin, set himself a good lap time? We've got, of course, people like XT Paco, Crew Steamers, as I mentioned, DeBoa also going for lap times here. I think Rabin is on a lap. No, he's abandoned his lap. He's 5 seconds down on his. So still some good people to set lap times here, Darragh, but I'm not sure who's going to get pole. Any predictions you want to make?
I'm gonna back Scorenzi in this. Actually, no, I'm gonna back Eric. Why not? He was on provisional pole earlier on. I'm gonna back him to keep it.
Oh, now I've got to make a prediction because I've asked you to make one. That's how it works. I think it's gonna be. I think Rabin's got it. Pretty secured. So Basil to the line. What's he going to improve to? Goes to 6th fastest. That's a good improvement from the Aston Martin driver. Very impressive indeed. That will probably be his one and only lap in qualifying because of where he's positioned on the track right now with 2 minutes 40 left on the clock. But we've got people coming down the pit lane here, Darragh, for their final lap times, including XT Paco, one of 4 drivers yet to have a lap time on the board.
Yeah, he is one of 4 drivers, so he needs to get it done soon, and there's no better time to do it than now, but time is ticking for him to get it done onto the timing page, but I'm not too sure what the time is going to be at this stage.
Yep, let us find out very soon what this is going to be. So, going through the first sector is XD Paco, along with a couple of other drivers going for their lap times. The only one not out on track right now is Illyrian, I think we're going for again. I can't remember exactly, but they are currently 12th fastest and looking to set their first lap time of the session.
And while I'm able to momentarily see what is going on, going on track, this is really to the stage where you've got to get to the line in time as well, because otherwise, some drivers, they may have left it a little bit too late to get out of the pit lane to really set the lap time, but I think the last driver, AJ Mackey, should be able to. But having said that, I think one of the Haas drivers has just exited the pit lane, so they're going to have it tight, but they'll easily get there. But from now, with the Red Bull just crossing the line, everyone is going to go round, but when they hit the line the next time around, they're going to meet the flag. So the metaphorical checkered flag line is between that Red Bull and the Haas.
Yep, it certainly is. So, let us find out who has the pace in these final few laps. We're going to watch XD Paco on this final lap because he needs this if he wants a chance of taking that pole position and taking those 8 all-important points here. As Eric goes on to provisional pole there. by about 10 thousandths of a second ahead of Rabin. But that is his last lap time of qualifying. He's going to have not another chance to go any faster.
No, he's not. It's gonna be just to see if anybody else can topple him at this stage of qualifying. But there isn't really anything he can do at this stage because everyone else behind him is really just going to try and improve here.
And we're on board with XD Paco as he's going to go through the first sector here. The car behind, one of the Haas cars, I believe that's Scarenzi, has got a wonderful slipstream behind XD Paco. But I wonder if he's a bit too close. Looking at that mini-map, he's probably closer than he would have liked to be.
Possibly so, but I'm not too sure because I cannot quite see. So you're going to have to, Alex, update us all on the times as they come in. But it's incredibly important for Paco at this stage to really put it up near the front, as we've said, because otherwise his championship may be over.
Yep, he's on a good-looking lap at the moment. Didn't set a purple first sector because this is his first lap in qualifying. His one and only lap in qualifying as we see cars improving. We've got Darragh moving into 11th. We've got Rapid Connor moving up to 6th place there. So we've got a AlphaTauri moving out of the way. Finbop has retired. He's currently only 11th. I think he's actually crashed on circuit there in this left-hander. We're going to see going through the left-hander now. And is it too wide for XD Paco? No, he holds it just on track limits. One corner to go for XD Paco. He's going to need a mighty final sector to see if he can get himself onto provisional pole. Scarenzi into the pits. He can't improve. Rabin takes provisional pole in the Sauber, and XD Paco can only put it on the front row. He can't go any higher, but he got damn well close to it. Crossing the line now is one of the Red Bulls and one of the Williams, but can't improve. There's only one car left to improve. It's Salek. He was a 10th down in the middle sector. Can he improve to the front row or any higher up? No, he stays 6th fastest. So it's Rabin who takes pole position at the Qatar Grand Prix.
And it's good for his championship challenge, isn't it? Paco's going to be floundering a little bit further back. I say a little bit further back, second. So still picking up 7 points, but dropping points in terms of the championship challenge. He's going to have to hope for something to go wrong at the front of this race. But it's a long race, isn't it? 29 laps at Qatar. And a lot is open to happening, isn't it?
It's a race of endurance. A damn race of endurance because there's a lot of tyre wear, tyre graining around this circuit. It's down to who has the least tyre wear, and we're going to find out in a few moments' time when we get started. Hopefully, either Darragh can get in or the stream becomes more stable for him.
Yeah, I'm asking for invites from the Xbox people. I might try and ask someone else as well. But yeah, this is going to be important, really, for these drivers to be aware there or thereabouts in this race, because it's a difficult race. ERS management is difficult. We can always see cars maybe not having the best of races, but if they can save a little bit of ERS towards the end, they can really start to push their way through the field because the cars around them will have nothing to fight for. So it's going to be interesting. I've just seen that Paco said he's having some hardware problems, which isn't good for him, but for Rabin, it's great news.
It is ready to Rabin. Only 68,000 separating first and second. And we've got Eric in third, Scarenzi fourth, Ilarius fifth, Salek sixth, Mini seventh, Rapid Connor eighth, Basil ninth, Rapid Scissor 10th. And then we've got Emerald, Adrian Mackie, Vimbop, Dower, Cruz Stevens, and Oliver James rounds out your top 16 here in Qatar. Of course, we will have a formation lap, so that gives Darragh even more time to get an invite. We're trying, folks. There is a lot of effort.
Yeah, I am. I'm requesting an invite. I've never had this problem before.
No, it's strange. I'm not sure why it's
wonderful
today. It's probably just you know.
Let's see. I'm going to ask to join game, and hopefully they accept that request, and I'm allowed in because the session is on invite only, so we don't get random people, i.e., me, joining the session.
I don't have you as a friend, so I wouldn't even be able to invite you if I wanted to.
Yeah, and through EA it can be very much annoying. So let me I will DM you quickly my name, see if that works at all. It's wonderful, really, that this is happening. I really hope that I've pinged them that somebody in the session can invite me because they have the ability
Is
to.
your name on Steam?
But, that is, yes.
So So I can add
Should be.
add you on Steam. Hang on, let me see if I can.
Oh, actually, no, that won't be on Steam, I don't think.
That's
That'll
on
just
EA,
be
isn't
in-game.
it? Yes, I can try.
That's an EA, yeah.
I can try and maybe add you as a friend on EA, but I don't think that's possible. No, it's not, unfortunately. Hoping someone can get you in. So is the stream not working at all for you?
Well, it's popping up and down again. We're onto the formation lab. Like, just here, I can see what's happening now, but sometimes it's a black old screen, and I cannot see for the life of me
Let me put
what is going
Let
on.
me put the Discord there. Can you see that? Wait, does that
I can see that.
Okay.
That might work.
I've put the Discord on the right-hand side of my screen. So I'm hoping... I now can't see OBS, mind you, but hopefully that's fine. If this makes it more secure...
Yeah, I mean, if that works, then that's great. I mean, no one in the lobby has been able to invite me. I've asked, but I have been harshly turned down. But this is working. I can see what's going on, which is wonderful. Yes, as long as I can see what's happening on track, this will work. It's a little bit difficult to... You know, sometimes some people could say you're doing a radio commentary when the people who are watching at home can't see the screen, when the commentator can't see the screen. It's a little bit difficult to describe what's going on.
It is near impossible when the commentator can't see what's going on. But yeah, let's have a look at the tyres. I'm sure you can see the tyres going on now. We've got mediums and hards across the entire field. I think that's smart. The soft tyres, not the one around this circuit, Darragh.
No, they die very quickly, don't they, here at Qatar. Hards and mediums, you know, they're swapping onto the other compound at some point. It's a pretty even split, really, isn't it? We've got, what's that, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers on the mediums, 7 on the hards. So it's relatively even between the two strategies, and it might provide us some interesting action at the end of the race. But, you know, this could be quite exciting. I think these 29 laps of Qatar, hopefully we'll see some good action through the field. And really, the only question remains is, Alex, who's going to win?
I think my money's got to be on Paco. I obviously, hopefully, he's not having too many hardware issues. Clearly, we're having some hardware issues today. Well, software issues actually is probably the better way of explaining it. But yeah, hopefully, I think he's got a chance. He's on the alternate strategy. He's going hard medium rather than medium hard. I think that's probably the better strategy in terms of having the better tyres towards the end of the race. Let's find out how this one goes. So difficult to call a race like this because Qatar is such an interesting circuit. Now, talking about interesting circuit, I don't know if you can you see how that Red Bull is parked in P5? That's very interesting indeed.
Yes. Lyrian, who of course had that big old crash last week. Who could forget that?
Yes.
That is not the ideal angle that you're going to be wanting to point your car in, but we've got Oliver James lining up onto the grid. It means that we're about to get going here at Qatar. It'll be Rabin on pole position, Paco alongside him, and Eric, who needs the points as well, down in P3. The lights are on here in Qatar, 29 laps ahead of us in round 8 of 10 here in PRL Season 12, and the lights are out, and we are racing down towards turn 1. Paco's just pulled off the side, so really some issues there for the Ferrari, but it will be Rabin who sweeps into the lead. Scorenzi trying to fight it out with Ilrian at this stage of the race, but with Eric in there as well. Rapid Mini fighting away with Salik. It's been a good start for Rabin because he started to pull away. He's the only driver in the top 4 on the medium tyres, and we'll have to see if he can use that to his advantage. Too wide into turn 4, but really at the front they've singled out.
Yeah, at the front they singled out as we see Eric and Larry ghosting through each other there. But yeah, perfect start from Rabin. That's what he needed. I wonder if that was Paco having a little bit of a hardware software. We've got Williams in the background there of Cruise Team is going off towards the wall. Do you reckon that was hardware issues or what we saw last week from Paco? Does he fancy another last to first challenge?
That's actually, I hadn't considered that. Yeah, that's a very good point. He may be doing this tactically to try and have a better race. I mean, he's pulled straight back into the train, so I think
Rapid Mini's out.
Very much possible. Oh, that is Rapid Mini. That's going to be a virtual safety car, not full. Whoa.
Whoa, Paco. Surely got to let him back past.
I don't know what happened there. Oh, he's trying to give the position back.
Oh, he's got front wing damage.
Yeah. I don't know quite what's going on at the moment, if I'm honest, Alex.
Well, there seems to be either some lobby issue or it may be a game feature. We don't know really. Thank God F1 23 is coming to an end, eh? Honestly, I'm kind of. I think we're both agreed. We're kind of sick and tired of this one.
Well, I mean, judging by some of the reviews I've seen for 24 so far, I'm,
Ooh.
I'm not living in eternal hope. I'll put it that way. We're still on the virtual safety car. Paco has come into the pit lane, as have Finbop and Crew Stevens. Oliver James, of course, he's up at the back of the field. He's up to P12. But the virtual safety car should surely be lifted soon. But these guys getting more of a free pit stop, aren't they?
Yeah, mediums are front wing, but Paco's not taking mediums to the end from there, is he?
No.
And to be honest with you, he's going to need a safety car to catch up, because this is probably the track that is worst for if you are not in a group of people, you will not catch anyone. Like,
absolutely.
this
This track, it's such a specific track, isn't it? Because there's not really anything like it in that way.
Yeah.
We're back to green flag racing, of course, here. But Eric, he's in a good position with Rabin, but it's going to be interesting just to see if he can stick with Rabin, who's on this medium. Because if he can, and we go through the entire first stint with this front train still relatively intact, the guys on the hards who've started Eric, Ilrian, and Scarenzi, they're going to love the second half of the race when they're onto the medium.
Yeah, and also, to be honest with you, those medium tyres aren't really pulling away as much as I thought, and clearly Rabin picking up a penalty there. I'd be very surprised if he did not get his first track limit warning penalty there. So there we go, down the main straight. DRS is going to be enabled this lap, because that was not a full course safety car, that was a virtual. So we are now having DRS available, as we see one of the Hasses pull out to the outside, and it's going to take Scarenzi down the main straight, and that's Salek moving into 4th place ahead of his teammate here. Darragh, that is something I probably didn't expect in this race.
And neither did I. So an interesting one that I think we're just going to have to keep an eye on, really, because those two teammates, of course, Scarenzi in the championship battle, Salek not. Of course, Salek is on that medium, maybe trying to go after the likes of Rabin here, but interesting strategy early on, especially if Salek starts to get disconnected from the rest of the train. DRS will be enabled this lap, so the next time they get towards turn 1, we will see the rear wing open on some of these cars. Salek, though, he's really having issues, and yeah, I mean, Scarenzi, he needs to be through here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's going on between Haas this afternoon. Salek is, defending from Scarenzi. Again, unless there's team orders involved, there's no obligation for Salek to move out of the way for Scarenzi. But that's going to cost him points in the championship right now. Of course, he's early on in the race. Maybe they're letting them settle down a bit. But as you said, Salek's almost out of DRS range of Ilarian up front. And that could be huge for this race, because if you're not in slipstream, you're not in DRS, you are not catching anyone. I know Paco is very fast. He's setting fast lap times. But still, he's going to have trouble catching up to the back of Darragh in 12th place.
Yes, it's a difficult predicament. I don't know, because of course we haven't really seen much, have we, this season of Salek, so maybe not really going for it in the championship. But look at this battle down towards turn 1. I mean, we've got Rabin, then Eric, and then Lyrian, and then this group, Salek, Scarenzi, Rapids, Rapid, Basil. I mean, gloves are off at this in the early stages of this race, and that gap between Illyrian and Salek, it really can't go anymore, or Scarenzi's going to be worried.
Yeah, something I would say there, just watching on board from Rapid Connor, is I'm pretty sure Scarenzi is running a lot of downforce. He did not catch up to Salek with DRS, and I don't know if he wasn't using ERS or what, but he did not catch him down the back straight. Rapid Connor also lost a lot of time, even with DRS in front. So clearly a lot of differing strategies going on here in terms of setups. And that is kind of what I'd expect around Qatar, because there's a lot of main straights around here, but the whole middle sector, you need as much downforce as you can.
It's a high downforce circuit. I think a lot of the setups that I've seen are 50, 45, that kind of range. Nothing lower than 40 for the front wing.
Yeah.
So an interesting one. But I think if you've decided to go for some interesting wings in terms of taking it off a bit, it is going to just be an interesting one when you get into these trains. Because, of course, you will be a boat in the middle sector, but you will fly through the opening sector with all that speed you've got down the main straight. So it's an interesting one, really. So a lot of drivers I know will be using high downforce setups, but if one or two have gone a little bit skinnier with their wings, then they might be kind of annoying the rest of the field. But as it is, something we don't often see in Tier 1 so far, we haven't often seen, the top 8 in a DRS train.
Yep, all stuck in a DRS train, and to be fair to Paco, he's made up 2 seconds on the back of Darragh, but in a circuit like this, 23 seconds back, I think Paco, I might have put the curse on him, to be honest with you, Darragh. He's going to be in a lot of trouble unless he gets a safety car.
Yes. I think that's a, I think that's a fair statement to make.
I think so.
But yeah, he's a long way off. Like, he needs a safety car. 22 seconds off the back. He's just not going to be getting that organically. And so yeah, he's in struggle street at the moment, which isn't fun. But respect if he can keep going on, along with Finboff and Crew Steamers, if they just keep going, hoping for a safety car, because, you know, the chances are always there for those guys if they can hold out for a potential late safety car.
Yep, for sure. Potential late safety car can still happen. It is Formula One, and as the famous Murray Walker once said, in motorsport, anything can happen, and it usually does. So I expect chaos, carnage, and all of the above from here on out. But we're on lap 6 of 29 here in Qatar. This is, of course, the third final round here of PRL. Darragh, have you enjoyed Tier 1 this year?
Sorry, final round of PRL?
Third final round.
Oh, third. I thought you said the third final. And I'm like,
No,
I'm sorry.
the third final round.
No, but yeah.
I should say that it's the third to the final round, but I didn't say it like an Englishman.
One from penultimate. No, but yeah, it's been a good championship battle, hasn't it? All the way through the season, we've had ebbs and flows. I mean, Paco, first couple of races really showed that he had the pace, didn't really put the points on the board, and that's what's cost him so far. But then we've had this championship battle with Rab and Scarenzi, and of course that's Racer, who isn't here this evening, and he's going to be hoping for disaster. I think it's fair to say for the two that he's really fighting. Oh, talking about disaster, Scarenzi. Yeah, it's giving a bit of a love tap to his teammate. Not sure how much love there was behind it, though.
Don't tempt the commentator's curse, Darragh. It's a dangerous thing, okay? It's like tempting fate. Don't do it.
You know, I've been told by a few people that if I mention the commentator's curse around them, I will be strung up. But this is a bit of a more safe space to say that we might curse people. Scarenzi, he really wants to make this move, doesn't he? Sorry, carry on with the point.
No, he's got to make it. He's got to make it. But look at the difference in straight line speed here between both Haas cars. And it's one of those things that obviously when I race with my teammate, I always like to have this. Oh my God! Sorry, Larry almost lost the rear end there in the sector, but held it. I carried my point. If I'm racing with my teammate, I always like to run the same setup, because then we have the same information, we have the same data, we have the same stuff coming back. It's very interesting. It's very unusual to see, obviously, people split your setups.
I get a sense that these two. Oh, hello.
How's that happened? I think he's lost the rear end and he's gone straight into the wall. Now, he's without a front wing here.
Bit of a weird place to lose it, though.
So you got
isn't it? I mean...
No.
No. A bit of a weird place to lose it, though, because you'd have thought if you lose it mid-corner, you'd spin towards the, the outside of the following corner. But interesting one, maybe. Did he get helped around?
I didn't see any wheel banging.
No.
I normally pay attention to wheel banging, but no, I didn't see any. But yeah, carry on your point about the setups, because I was.
No, I was just going to say that the teammates. It doesn't necessarily seem that there may be too much communication between these two, so that it could be possible that there was no conversation beforehand about setups. But either way, I mean, Salek has clearly got that straight line car. Can he do anything with it down this straight on Illyrian? I don't think so. Because it's not the longest straight, really, is it, to have DRS here at Qatar? We often see lots of DRS trains, and PRL Tier 1 no exception.
Yeah, it's very difficult to make up that time down the back straight, unless you're willing to use a lot of ERS. Alari's all over the road. Did you see that again? She lost another, he had another little spin there of that Red Bull. Struggling on hard tyres already, possibly in their grading phase, I must say.
Possibly that, or even just through those corners, just possibly that the setup isn't really ideal. Of course, you can have a bit of a difference. If you have a bit more of a difference between the front wing and the rear wing, you're going to find yourself sliding around quite a bit more on the circuit. Especially, I mean, there's other parts of the setup that you can also change, little bits and bobs that you can use to try and prevent spins. But if you're not really focusing on that, or even if you've got a bit of a time trial setup on, that can hurt you in the race, can't it?
So I think it's going to hurt the Red Bull in front there. Do you see the riding on board here? Do you see that flashing light on the back of the Red Bull car? That means they are out of ERS, and it's now an opportunity for Salek to close down here. But interestingly enough as well here, Darragh, Rabin has pulled out of DRS range of Eric.
Yeah, but of course it's something that we've talked about, isn't it? That it's very easy to use a lot of your ERS early on, but let's have a look. Salek, he's surely going to go for the move inside line on Lyrian. Thank you very much, sir. I'm up into P3 and I'll try and chase after Eric myself. I'm not going to give Salek too much hope, though, considering that his car looks to be a boat everywhere but the main straight. And look at that, losing time through turn 2 as he fights away with Lyrian, who's still trying to fight this one up towards turn 4. But Scorenzi wraps it from Basilo, thinking, guys, don't fight this one because we want to stay in touch with the top 2.
Yeah, you can't fight too hard in this situation. But again, Scorenzi can't really, hold up time behind a car with no ERS left in it. But again, as you said, Salek, in the corners, it seems like he's controlling a boat. But down the main straight, he's got like a jet-powered dragster. If you get that reference, I'm really happy. As we go through the left-hander here, Scorenzi trying to get on terms with Alari here.
I do get that reference. It's not as bad as I made a reference to Bittersweet Symphony, of course, the song by The Verve, and my co-commentator didn't understand what I was talking about.
It's the generation gap. That's the issue.
No. He was about 8 months younger than me.
Oh.
I couldn't believe it. I was absolutely fuming, and I spent the next 3 minutes slating him for it. Quite
Well,
frankly.
luckily,
But anyway, enough about that.
I was a music student, so I get that reference. So it's all good.
Yeah, so you you would have got any of those references.
I get
but we're on to lap
references.
10. I mean,
oh,
yeah, Lyrian, go for it. This race is flying by, isn't it? Really, I mean,
It
we're
does.
nearly a third of the way through already. I mean, Qatar is a very high-speed track. It's a track that we often see races go through relatively quickly, and when there's action like we've got so far, it just feels like time is sped up, doesn't it?
yeah. Obviously, 10 laps in. There's only 29 laps of the entire Grand Prix. We could be over and done in probably like an hour or so. I think it's one of those Grand Prix that can take not a lot of time. Something like, say, Singapore, the opposite of that. That one takes ages. But obviously, we're not at Singapore today. We're at sunny Qatar at night time. I love the fact it's a night race as well. I think it adds a lot to the track. Rapid Connor picking up a 3-second time penalty, but he's down in 14th at the moment. Won't matter too much to him. A lot of the guys towards the back of the field picking up a lot of time penalties. I think Crew Steamers is on possibly 6 or 9 right now of track limit penalties.
Yeah, it's not looking good. I mean, I have to say I did a race at Qatar earlier on. I'm literally, by the end of this week, I'm going to be Qatar'd out because I will have done 4 Qatar races in the space of, 28 hours, give or take.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I didn't choose the calendars chose me. But, yeah, so I saw one guy pick up 18 seconds worth of penalties. So it's possible. It's very, very possible. But I think some of these guys will know. Oh, that is a big old snap from Eric, and Salek might try and take advantage here. But these guys will know that if they pick up a penalty, it's really going to hurt them, especially if they keep these trains. Here comes Salek. Oh, my word, this is going to be brave. Oh, defending the inside Eric, but Salek's going to slither up the inside. Can he pull it off all the way through the double right-hander? Oh, yes, he can. Up into P2.
But down the inside goes Eric again, left the door open, and Salek did not consider defending that, and that's probably the lack of downforce he's got. But look at the straight line speed he's got now, going through the right-hander. Can he hold it around the outside? I don't think he can. He hasn't got the downforce to do it, but he's kept it in there, and they still bang wheels going through. Another left-hander here, back to the left. Can they still go wheels? Oh, yes, they can. And Salek takes second place. He is putting on a masterclass of racing at the moment, and Eric's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty in that battle.
Rabin has never been happy. I'll tell you that right now for free. He's 4 seconds in the... He's gained 2.5 seconds on this lap alone. Has Eric's had an issue? Oh, I think that's actually a bit of lag.
Is that some leasing going on?
Yeah, this isn't... if you're... I can tell you right now as well, if you're one of these drivers around here, you're going to be absolutely petrified of the cars in front. Basil, I think he's trying an ambitious undercut. He's seeing all the battling going on in front of him and thinking, I could gain loads of seconds here if I can get an undercut that, pushes me up the order. Could even get me out of sight if these guys keep battling, and that's the strategy he's going for. Lyrian, inside on Eric. Eric, this is not sustainable. This is dangerous, really, isn't it?
It is. I mean... Again, it's not entirely on Eric. We can't blame Eric for the awful, I was going to say a bad word there. I'm not going to. The awful state that the netcode is in this year's game. And I mean, peer-to-peer connection is not the way to go, it turns out. But yeah, it's not good for Eric at the moment. But he's back in control. He's just got to try and nurture the pace now, but he's clearly struggling on his internet.
Yes, clearly struggling, and hopefully it can resolve itself, because otherwise this could be quite dangerous, I think it's fair to say, for everybody involved. But as we continue on, we've got lap 12 of 29. I mean, we're approaching this pit stop phase, particularly for the medium tyres, of which Basil was one of them. Basil's onto a soft.
Oh my god. Two-stop? Is he committing himself
Surely
to
not.
a
I mean,
two-stop?
no. Not at Qatar, surely. Now, people who know me know that I love a two-stop.
Oh.
I absolutely love a two-stop.
A man out of my own heart.
Yeah, I would not do a two-stop here. Not in a million years.
No, not even I would, and I do crazy strategies. I mean, this is something even I wouldn't try doing. But down the inside goes Scorenzi. He's going to finally get in front of that Red Bull that's been hassling them, or is he? Because he does not. That was an awful line going into the braking zone. Is he going to get a better one coming out this corner? I don't think he will, because he hasn't got the drive out of the corner there, Darragh. What was going on with that line into turn one?
I don't know. A lot is going on in this train that I can't explain. It's like supernatural activity. Well, we are seeing supernatural activity with Eric.
We certainly are.
That has taken me back to my childhood, that thought of the aliens. Anyway, Scorenzi. Finbop's retired from the session. That's in the pit lane.
Won't matter too
So
much.
he won't be getting any points this evening. Crew Steamers is a lap down, so he isn't really in it. Rapid Connor, of course, off the back. Paco is fighting his way in. But again, he'll need another pit stop. But then again, Basil might need another pit stop. So is he on for a P11 here?
Very possibly. He could be on for a P11. That's not going to be huge for his points tally, though, is it?
No.
No.
No, I think, yeah, that's fair to say.
There's a Finbot leaves the session as well. Now, of course, that Mercedes will drive out of the pit lane again, so hopefully it won't affect someone. Oh, we got Salak into the pits. Salak into the pits. Now, surely it's got to be for a set of hard tyres, as we see Basil making up a move there. He's up into 10th place on those soft tyres. I'm still very confused what this strategy is, Darragh, as we're going to see Ilario go for a move here into turn one. Balls to the outside. Oh, very aggressive defence. Or was it? Ooh. I'm not exactly sure what's going on now, but he's into second place.
I mean, you can only class this as comedy, really. I mean, was Eric defending to the inside? Was Eric actually on the racing line? Was Eric in the corner? Oh my word! there is definitely some decent going on.
He's left. He's gone.
It's a good job. Yeah, it's a good job we're after the watershed after what we've just seen.
Yeah.
As Basil does set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, he will gain a massive undercut. I mean, to be fair, the thing for Basil is, if these guys keep fighting, a soft could work.
Yeah,
Even
I mean,
then, I'm not convinced.
It's bold. Connor retires in the pit lane as well. Darragh, so Eric is officially disconnected. Unfortunately, his lag finally caught up to him, and now we have a ghost version of him. Eric Bott is driving around on the circuit for him. The man I can tell you that's loving this race so far is Rabin. Like, he's got nothing to worry about. He's got not a care in the world right now.
I mean, he can pit when he wants to, really, can't he? Because I mean, he could get undercut by a lap or two. But yeah, he doesn't really need to go into the pit lane, but he has. And he's just in a very good controlling situation. The one thing he doesn't want to see, safety car.
Yeah, that's not what we want to see. Ilaria into the pits as well. So Scorenzi will take the provisional lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. And we're going to see Rapid Scissor move himself up into second place. The interesting thing I want to know is, where is Basil going to come out? Is he going to come out front of Rabin? This could be I think it's going to be close here.
It just shows how close how good the undercut is here. Let's see. Up towards the line. Here
he is
Basil.
as well.
He's going to get him, yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
And I mean, it's not by a lot, but the undercut has worked for him, and he's pulled almost a second on the Sauber, but I think those new hard tyres will probably... No, he's pulled a second. He's ahead of a second, but of course there's a long way to go in this race. But interestingly enough, he's also got in front of Salak, and of course Paco's found himself in 9th place, but with another pit stop to come.
I mean, the thing for Basil here is that if he can just try and keep Rabin at arm's length for the next 4 laps, then he's going to be in a very good position. I mean, he can still try and pull. The soft tyres still will be faster than the hards right now, just on pure pace. If they were on the same car, they'd be going faster. So Basil knows that he has the the car under him to keep himself out of the DRS. It's just whether Rabin's skill and ability can drag him inside. Scarenzi's still staying out. Rapid Scissor into the pit lane, off of those mediums, and Scarenzi, he's still staying out, waiting for his stop onto the medium.
Is this a risk from Scarenzi because of how powerful the undercut is?
Well, I mean, the thing is that we know that fresh tyres here can be very, very powerful. So even if he can get onto a medium, he's going to have a massively large pace advantage all the way through the final 13 laps. And even if he's 5-6 seconds down, he should be able to make that back up realistically. I mean, we're seeing Rabin here. He got into the DRS of Basil, and he just couldn't be more comfortable at the moment, could he? I mean, he's 3.5 seconds ahead of Salek on fresher tyres. You know, he can just be pulled along by Basil for the time being. Life's good.
Life's good for him. Something we haven't mentioned yet, Dad, which I think is important to mention. We obviously mentioned about the ERS management in qualifying. We haven't mentioned about the fuel management in the race, because if there's ever a track I've driven around where I've guaranteed myself 3 extra laps of fuel, it's this circuit.
And it's true. Another track, to be fair, that's on that list, I would say, is Zandvoort.
Zandvoort. Portugal's a good one as well. Portugal, Zandvoort,
yeah,
and this circuit. I always pack three extra laps of fuel just to be sure.
I remember at Zandvoort, I didn't necessarily put in enough fuel because I had a lap and a half over. Scarenzi's in the pit lane, by the way.
Yes.
I had a lap and a half over, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to push. I'm just going to keep pushing until I literally cannot push anymore, and hope for a safety car to help me with the fuel. And I had 7 laps to go, and I was 0.6 laps in the red, and I managed to get it to the end, only losing 1 position. Albeit I lost about 8 seconds. But I think I did pretty well in the end.
That's
and,
pretty good, to be fair.
It's something that we might see from these drivers. Yeah, I mean, Rabin, he's not worried about fuel saving now. Look at this. Oh, he's not going to go for the overtake.
Again, as you said, he doesn't need to, does he? He knows Basil is not going to the end on those tyres. Or is he? How many laps have we got left?
No, he's not. No, he's not. Basil is not going... I mean, they'd been puncture territory, if nothing else. He's not going to the end.
You want to make that bet?
Yes, I will... What will I do? I don't know what I'll do. I was about to say I'll eat my hat, but I don't even own a hat.
I own a hat, but I don't eat
So,
it. It was a Christmas present from my girlfriend. So I don't...
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I wouldn't eat that.
The last person I did see that made the bet of if so-and-so happens, I'll eat my hat. Oh, that is big. Hello. Salek, 3-second time penalty. Lyrian is on the back. He'll be pleased to see that. But, I mean, at the moment, those two are kind of on their own. Scarenzi's being held up by Paco. Rapid Scissors in there as well. We're kind of seeing echelons forming, aren't we? Groups of 2, groups of 3. Lyrian will almost certainly come through down in towards turn 1 regardless, as Mackie's in the pit lane. MZ Plays in the pit lane. And Oliver James is not in the pit lane, but he is firming it at the moment, isn't he? Because he's on the medium and he's not coming out.
Yeah. So, did you see that little wiggle there from Scarenzi out of the final corner? Is that the telltale sign that he wants to work together to try and go catch Rabin?
Could be, or it could just be that he's lost some rear end.
It's one of two things.
Fair.
But the netcode is so bad, I can't tell you what it is because it's a big wiggle or a big wiggle. I can't tell you.
Or it's lag.
Or it's lag. Oliver James has gone off the circuit, which in this term has cost Rabin a little bit because Basil's made a little bit of space on himself. Oh my god! Okay, Rabin, do not bottle this, son. You're fine. Just keep it calm.
He had it in the palm of his hand, isn't he? He really doesn't want to lose it now, especially with that sim racer not even being here. I mean, this is literally the perfect opportunity to gain points. And you really, really, really do not want to give that up here. But we have got, what now? 11.5 laps to go. I mean, laps have ticked by relatively quickly. Rabin is obviously getting closed down by Lyrian at the moment. Lyrian's the driver to watch out for. Of course, he's on the medium. I think Rabin might have to make a move on Basil sooner rather than later if this is to continue because Lyrian is gaining. Oliver James into the pit lane. Last driver to pit. Of course, Paco will, of course, have to pit one more time and then we will go into the end. But Rabin, squeaky bum time, really, because Lyrian is dragging Salek along with him as well.
I'm going to go for it. No, he doesn't go for it again. Oh, is he calling? I mean, What's the plan here? What is the plan here for Rabin? 1.9 seconds behind. He's got a car in front of him who technically doesn't have to pit again, but you think he will pit again because of his tyres. He's got another 10 laps on it. He'll take soft tyres 17 laps. I can't see that happening.
No, it's just not happening. Oh yeah, very quickly back to that point. The last person I saw, who said they'd eat their hat if so and so came true, was around the election in 2015, and it happened. Oh no, Lyrian. Well, this has been a race full of twists and turns, hasn't it? Because we've thought, of course, this is going to go this way, and then of course Paco pulls off to the side at the start, and then he. He's had a bit of a struggle getting back up. Basil's onto a new strategy. Rabin is being closed down, but the driver was closing Rabin down, is now disconnected from the session. We've also had Eric disconnect from the session, and he was lagging all over. This has really just been an up and down race, and we've still got nearly 10 laps to go. I
mean, I think a lot of people that are being disconnected from the race will say the same thing that we're saying. They just hope the next year's game is more solid for broadcasters. And, he's pulled a Lyrian into the pits. Oh, no. AI, what are you doing? They've only just pitted AI.
He wasn't happy last week, was he? Because of course he got taken out on the final lap, and I don't think he's going to be much happier this week. If I'm honest.
No. I mean, I wouldn't be happy if yellow flag in sector 3. It's for Oliver James, who's had a little bit of a spin. I think he'll get back going again. Okay, 9 laps to go. The sting of this race might have been taken out. It's down to Salek to try and close down there, but Salek has a time penalty. Scarenzi doesn't have a time penalty, but he's on those new medium tyres. And as you mentioned, probably the dark horse and probably the favourite at the same time.
Yeah, we're in that kind of territory where, I mean, lots could happen here. It all rides on the next couple of laps and exactly what the pace is like. Because Scarenzi, you'd probably say, is on the right strategy right now, and his teammate could help drag him up to the top 2. But that being said, Scarenzi is definitely going to be faster than his teammate, and Rabin should be faster than Talek as well. Lyrian has got back in his car, but he's going to find himself a long way down the order on some fresh mediums, albeit. But he's not going to be pleased. Basil, I mean, he should really pit this or next lap, I'd have thought, but he's not pitting
unless again, he's not pitting.
Yeah, unless he's going to the end. I just cannot see it. I just don't know why he would. His tyres might puncture.
Rapids is just pitting
I just
as well.
can't see it.
What?
What is going on today?
What is going on with these pit stops? Is Rapids AI? No, he's not. Oh my Christ, what is going? My head hurts. Can we just... Can I call out the standout performance of this race so far? I don't want to curse them. But AJ Mackey's up in 5th place for Williams. What a drive they've had this afternoon.
Yeah. Been a great race. Really been a good race for AJ Mackey. We'll have to see if they can get this one to the end, because a P5 would be an excellent result, albeit being about 20 seconds off of the lead. But we've now got the top 4 all in the same shot, and Scarenzi is gaining. He is gaining fast here on Rabin, and
why has Rabin just gone
might
past?
gain an advantage.
I don't get it. I don't get this cat and mouse game.
No.
Like, Basil is at the point now where his tyres are not faster than Rabin's. So it's not like he's being pulled along anymore. It's basically more of a hindrance. It's like having a roadblock in front of you. That's no disrespect to Basil, but that's just the tyres that he is on at the current state.
And, yeah.
Oh, he's in.
I mean,
finally in.
Yeah, he was always going to... There was no way he was going to the end, but he's going to drop a long way back. This is the thing, AJ Mackey, 4th question mark?
Could find himself in 4th place. And if any of these guys...
Depends how good Basil's tyres are. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's going on another set of softs, I would presume. It's going to need to be a quick pit stop. I think he's going to come out just behind his teammate in 7th place. Or 6th place, sorry.
No, he's going to be behind Eric here. Sorry, you're right. I miscounted the cars.
Yeah,
no, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I got confused because Crew Steamers. I thought Crew Steamers was AJ Mackey
okay.
there.
Yeah. So he's going to come out.
That's why.
In 6th, only a few seconds behind his teammate. Now it's full push for Basil to try and catch up to AJ Mackey. Obviously, then there's 14 seconds between Mackey and Salek, so I reckon that this is the battle now. But look at Scarenzi. And I think Rabin's only got himself to blame, Darragh.
Rabin, I don't know what he's done with the ERS. or was Oliver James, Scarenzi either having a massive oversteer or a bit of lag. Oliver James really not having the best days. Another time penalty for him, but Scarenzi, I mean, you'd think he'll fly past down at turn 1 here, wouldn't you? He might try and hold back and wait, but I see no reason for him to, because he might be able to pull the 1 second gap as it is. And I think that's Rabin trying to play some DRS games. We've got 7 laps to go, and already we're seeing some DRS chicken.
Well, you know, I love a bit of DRS chicken. So tasty here at in Formula 1. But Scarenzi, not going to mess around with that. But look at the straight line speed difference. He's having to use ERS to blast past Rabin, and Rabin falls into second place. But he's still got a lot of ERS to play with.
Yes, he does. This is the thing. So Rabin has just got... I think that's why Rabin sat in behind. He's been able to save the ERS, hoping that if he can just stay within the DRS of Scarenzi, he's going to be able to just fly past on the closing couple of laps. But it's a very dangerous game, because he's got to make sure he stays close enough, as Paco sets the fastest lap time now on his medium tyres. He's on those fresh mediums as well. Don't rule out a Paco top 5 here.
I mean, he's got a chance of that. He'll get the point for fastest lap as well. I imagine Basil's probably got the fastest lap in the bag with those soft tyres. He's got past his teammate already, 4 seconds away from AJ Mackie. I think Basil will find himself back up in P4 by the end of this race.
Yeah, I think that's probably a relatively nailed-on prediction there, because those soft tyres are going to be absolutely rapid.
That's a good
as
recovery,
our
I think.
scissor. Sorry?
It's a good recovery on the strategy he was on.
Yeah, it is a good recovery. And I, obviously, started second, intentionally went back to the back of the field, then had to do an extra pit stop and still might get a top 5, which just shows how good he's been this season in terms of out-and-out pace. But he's still got a little bit of work to do. Rabin, he stayed more than close enough this time around, and, maybe we might see him make a move, but really it's going to be last lap, penultimate lap, that we're going to have to wait to see if he does.
Yeah, it really is, and I mean... I don't know if he's got a chance of doing it with the fact his tyres are older. Can he get himself up into that, into turn 1, get it close enough to get through? But I mean, 5/10 back. Has he got the chances? 6/10 back. Salek isn't closing in as much as he can. It's all on Rabin now, because he was in control of this race.
He was in control of this race, but he's not, and that's a difficult situation, I think, to be in if you were Rabin, because it just looked all rosy, didn't it? It looked like been wrapped up with a bow on top, and it was a nice little gift from the rest of the drivers. But now it's looking a little bit trickier, and he is really flirting with losing that DRS. 8/10 just overage the gap. Oh, it doesn't fill you with confidence, does it? But once we cross the line, we're only going to have 5 more laps to go here in Qatar.
And so we got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Is that for... Oh, it's for Oliver James again, having a little bit of a spin. But yeah, 5 laps to go when they cross the line. Who else is closing in? We've got Basil, of course, closing in on Mackie. We'll keep an eye on that battle for you. Paco is right on the back of Emerald Place here. So yeah, as you said, don't count out Paco for a top 6 or top 5 finish, depending on how stuff goes down. And Laria also there as well. So... I think Plays is going to be in a little bit of trouble come the checkered flag.
Yeah, let's just keep an eye on this, because all of a sudden this race, it's just developed multiple storylines, hasn't it? It's shown that there are multiple ways that we can look at this race and lots of different fights that are ongoing, but we will continue on in this one. There's not long left, as we've mentioned, only just under now 5 laps to go here in Qatar. It's really flown by, hasn't it?
Certainly has. Bit of an interesting line there from Larry. Obviously, the racing line wasn't optimal for them, so they wanted to go a little bit wider. We got a bit of a lapped car going on here up ahead with Rabin and on the Haas, but they can move out of the way very quickly. They ghosted anyway, so it won't matter too much. Oliver James probably not had his best race for McLaren here.
No, I don't think he's going to remember this one or point at it and go, yes, that was the day. That was the day. Because it really hasn't been the best race. He had a qualifying ban to start with, started at the back, and it's got a little bit better in terms of position, but he's still not going to be scoring any points, being a long way off the back. And even Cruz Steamers, I mean, Cruz Steamers, he must be like a lap and a half down now, nearly. He's nearly been lapped by Deboya, so he's also not had a very good day. 4 laps to go. It's not looking great for Rabin at the moment, is it? I mean, he's really got to stay close and hope that the mediums die off at the end.
Right, you know who it is looking good for? He's looking good for Basil because he's closing in on AJ Mackie here. Both of them flashing with ERS. So pulls to the right-hand side. Mackie looks to defend here, but he hasn't got a lot of options with those soft tyres, and he goes sweeping around the outside. And to be honest with you, Darragh, that is all Mackie could afford to do. A little bit of a pull to the right-hand side to defend, but honestly, 4-lap-old softs versus 8-lap-old mediums, not really a contest, unfortunately.
No, it wasn't a contest, and I don't think that's going to surprise anybody at home watching along to PRL here this evening. Reminder that we'll have Tier 2 on tomorrow evening with a championship battle still raging on there. You'll want to join myself and Josh as we take you through another race here at Qatar. But after this round, we've only got 2 more races, and we head back to Europe, don't we? Belgium and Silverstone, Spa and Silverstone, and, you know, very different tracks to what we're seeing here, and it really could come down to those final couple of races. Or the final race, I should say.
Yeah, it certainly could. Spa and Silverstone. With that sim racer not here as well, maybe he'll return for the last 2 races. But Rabin, I wouldn't say he's given up on this yet, because here we go. Is he close enough to look for an overtake here? He's had to use a lot of ERS, but here he goes, pulls to the right-hand side, and Rabin retakes the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. But is that a bit too early here, Darragh?
Yeah, it feels a little bit premature, doesn't it? Because we're not too sure whether, you know, the Haas can come back at him in these closing couple of laps. But we will, of course, keep watching this one all the way through to the finish, because we have only now got just over 2.5 laps to run. 2 more trips to turn 1. Can Rabin hold off Scorenzi both times? I mean, it's going to be difficult, but it looks like he might just about have the pace.
Well, I mean, this is going to be very tight to the finish. We've seen people change all the time. Darragh has actually moved himself ahead of Eric. Of course, Eric is currently Eric Bot, but that's a point for Darragh. So we see, oh, Rapid Scissors had a spin there in the sector. Oh, he's hit the wall and lost his front wing. That seems like a very strange incident there. Well, we're going to see Darragh maybe get another point here.
He wouldn't mind, would he? At all. But yeah, I mean, the gaps have really opened up behind. I'm somewhat glad that we've had a safety car free race, because it's allowed these strategies to really take, just to play out. Because we've, oh, Scorenzi though, he's gone past Rabin playing for the DRS.
Yeah, I think that was very clever there. Did he get it?
This is the penultimate.
He did.
But we're going on to the penultimate lap. That's the problem. I mean, Scorenzi might be able to see it coming next time around if this works for Rabin. So, I mean, what does he do next time around? Rabin back into the lead, but oh no, he's not.
No, he's playing DRS games. He knows what he must do on this lap. But that is a risk now, because he's not in control of what happens next. He is now in control of his own pace. He's got to keep Scorenzi behind him. Scorenzi will play games on this, but this could be fireworks, or it could be very anticlimactic, Darragh.
Yeah, it could really go either way. Hopefully we get some fireworks. Hopefully we get some good battling between the 2 of these guys. But, you know, has Scorenzi kind of outplayed, or really, not Scorenzi hasn't outplayed Rabin. Has Rabin outplayed himself here? That's the question. Is he trying to deep head a little bit too much? We've got 1 more DRS straight down towards turn 1 to find out.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, he's not closing as much to that middle sector as I would have expected him to do. He needs to get this right. And Scorenzi, what's Scorenzi going to do? Does he risk not having DRS? Does he say he's got enough of a gap? Or does he back off? Because you could see that light flashing. His light is flashing on the back of that Haas car. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. I believe that is for Oliver James, so that won't matter too much for what's going on up here. But here we go. Now coming down the final corner. Scorenzi's risky it. He doesn't need DRS, he says. Is he far enough back? Let's find out. Down the back straight now. How strong is your DRS? How strong is your ERS? Is Scorenzi going to be able to do anything here? Down the back straight. He's going to pull to the outside. He's going to pull to the inside as we head down into the main straight. And there's nothing Scorenzi can do as Rabin takes the lead of the Qatar Grand Prix. But again, has he made a mistake here? Because there's clearly more downforce on the Haas car. And there's always another chance down the back straight because of how long it is and how far away the finish line is.
Yeah, I mean, Oliver James retiring very late into the race, as they've all lapped Rapid Scissor now as well. So only 10 cars on the lead lap in this race. Can Scorenzi do enough to just stay right on the rear? Because if he stays right on the rear, he's going to make Rabin question whether he wants to play DRS again. It's a long run to the line, isn't it? So, I mean, do you think Rabin's going to win this, or is Scorenzi just going to sneak it, Alex?
I mean, looking at ERS, it's very similar on the power of ERS. What can Scorenzi do here to play games? And I mean, what can Rabin do to play games? Does Rabin back off again? Surely that's more suicidal than playing games in this situation. I think you've just got to pray you've got the straight line speed on that car. We've seen Scarenzi's been struggling with straight line speed the whole race. They're both flashing. They're both of their lights are flashing here through the final sector. Scarenzi trying to hold on with those 12-lap-old soft tyres. Look at the Red Bull's gone through.
Oh.
The Red Bull's unlapped himself, but it won't matter too much. Going through the final sector now. Here we go, down the main straight. Who's going to be close enough? Oh, and I think Scarenzi's had a ginormous stuff. Oh, Rabin got DRS off the Red Bull, which means he's going to win the Grand Prix ahead of Scarenzi. AJ Mackey has got ahead of Basil, who's run out of fuel. No, he's run out of fuel. AJ Mackey might get fourth here, or will it be Paco? Here we go. Can Paco recover to fourth down the main straight? And he's taken Mackey on the line, and he gets fourth place in a recovery. And is Alaria bot going to get ahead of Basil? They do. Will Plays get Basil? No, they won't. Wow, what a finish.
In the end, Basil got Lyrian on the penalties as well.
Yeah.
It is somewhat annoying, the fact that Rapid Scissor unlapped himself at the penultimate corner there, giving Rabin some DRS. I don't know if anything will be said about that, but Rabin does win. I mean, you would say that he deserved that win realistically throughout the race anyway, but I think Scarenzi will feel slightly hard done by, and I don't think him and Rapid Scissor will be the best of friends through this race. Eric will come across the line for P10, and then we will just wait for Rapid Scissor, who won't be scoring any points. But what a recovery drive from Paco. You know, second to last, up to fourth again at the end. Fantastic drive.
Well, I mean, fantastic drive again from Rabin. He gets a lot of points towards his total. Who are we waiting to cross the line? Just Rapid Scissor, last one to cross the line. Is he going to go fastest lap here? He might take fastest lap on the last lap, you know.
He might do.
I didn't see it pop up.
He wouldn't have picked up a point regardless, would he? Because he finished 11th. But there we go. Rabin is your winner.
Paco.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
AJ Mackey.
Paco wouldn't have been too pleased about that. I'm going to keep an eye in the chat to see if anybody jumps into the podium interview.
No one likes having interviews with us, Darragh. We've worked this out. See,
I know.
You and Josh seem to get them all the time when I hover over.
I don't know whether Josh pays them or something. I'm not too sure.
Well, I mean, Josh does do that. He does.
I promise you, it's not you. I promise it's
not me. It's not a me thing. Definitely not. But there you go. You can see getting that trophy there for the win, and I think it's well deserved. I think they would have still got it even without the DRS.
Yeah, I agree, to be fair. And a fantastic result for Rabin. Chasing down Scarenzi, and will be overtaking that sim racer with only 2 more rounds to go. We'll have a look at the final results, though. In this race, of course, if you saw 2 Hassers and Alfa Romeo on the podium in real life, you would, I don't know what you do. You probably go to the hospital saying that you were having some visions. But here are the results. Rabin is your winner. 42 minutes and 8 seconds. A relatively fast race in the end. Scarenzi and Salek second and third. Good result for the Haas duo. Paco, fantastic recovery to fourth. Definitely a contender for driver of the day. AJ Mackey in fifth and Basil in sixth after running out of fuel near the end of the race. MZ plays the Aston Martin teammate in seventh, with Lyrian, Deboya and Eric rounding out the top 10 and the points paying positions. Rapid Scissor just about made sure that he was on the lead lap, but a minute and 25 seconds down. Oliver James actually got the fast lap in the end, but he DNF'd along with Cruise Steamers, Rapid Connor, Finbop and Rapid Mini. Let's see, Paco had 22, half a second clear for Oliver James. If we have a look back at the calendar, we will see what is down. I've noticed that Salek is in the podium interview channel. Do have someone to interview, Alex. Should we hop across now?
We do. Where are we going to... I don't know. Is there a chat for us to jump into, or we just jump into the podium interview chat? Is that
yes.
How we do it?
You see podium interview? Yeah, the podium interview.
All right, we'll jump over there. Hello, Salek.
Hello.
Oh, we got my first interviewee. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I heard on the stream, so I thought I might hop in.
Thanks, Salek. Well, talk us through that race, mate. You finished third in the end, if I believe.
Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah.
And it was a brilliant Grand Prix. You were ahead of your teammate for a lot of it. But obviously, I think he was on the slightly different strategy. He was on the medium tyres. You were on the hards.
Yeah.
But yeah, talk us through that race, because it was an entertaining battle from where we were watching.
No, it was good for the first 10 laps, and then from there it was so lonely. I was just by myself the entire time. Just had to watch all these people go past on fresher tyres. And then at the end, my fuel just went. I had no fuel left, and I was panicking. and I just about managed to keep P3.
So you ran out of fuel as well on the line.
Yeah, I was like, 12 seconds clear, and then ended up being like 1.4 seconds to fourth.
Well,
But
yeah, because someone else had a fuel. Who else had a fuel issue, Darragh? It was
Basil.
Basil. Yeah, Basil ran out of fuel as well. But yeah, no, it was a solid result. P3, very good pace
Yeah.
overall.
Well, yeah, appreciate it.
Someone else just joined the interview room.
Just a quick one. Salek. Very quickly, Salek. First podium of the season. Of course, going into the last couple of rounds, does that give you a bit of a boost? You can try and try and nick a
100%.
win.
This is only my second league race in like 6 months, so it's
Wow.
already a very good result for me.
Very nice.
And hopefully you just carry on.
That's how you do
Well
it.
done. Hopefully we'll speak to you again in the next couple of weeks, but fantastic
Yeah.
result.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Salek. Who else has just jumped in here, Darragh?
Yeah.
Scorenzi's jumped in.
Scorenzi.
Yeah, I didn't know what you guys were doing, so I didn't know if I was supposed to join or not.
Of course you can join, mate. I'm very excited. This is my first interview section of PRL. So talk us through your race, Salek. How did it go? Not Salek, Scorenzi.
Or yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, started off all right. I had a little bit of a mistake at the beginning, lost a spot, just kind of try to stay with the train. I knew that these guys were probably going to try to burn up their ERS, which, I mean, that's a massive no around here. So I was the first stint. I feel like I did pretty well doing that, because once everyone's tires started dropping off, their ERS management kind of started coming into play. I started reeling them back in, just staying in that train as well, managing the race from there. And then yeah, I wasn't too sure if the hard to medium was going to work out here today, but luckily it did. The pace was really, really strong. I felt very, very good in the second stint, but just unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
Yeah, and some DRS chicken going on towards the last few laps, and unfortunately, it seemed that a lapped car gave your race winner the DRS on that final lap. Do you think you could have got him?
I feel like two things happened there at the very end. So I made a slight mistake going around the final corner, which compromised my exit. And I don't know. I don't know if if I would have had a good run at him because of that. And then also, of course, yes, the DRS that he got off of the lapped car, which that was a little bit frustrating. And yeah, the DRS chicken, it was for sure a bit frustrating. I don't really like to do that, sort of stuff, but it is what it is. So I seen it happen a couple times, so I was like, okay, you know what? Well, I'll try to dish it back a little bit too.
You'll
but
play along, yeah.
Yeah.
A bit of the dark arts.
But no, all in all, though, I mean, it was a solid little race. I enjoyed it. Had some good little battles. My teammate as well. I don't know I think he's a reserve. I think Salek is a reserve, or I don't know if he's my full-time teammate.
No,
Are you my teammate or okay?
No,
yeah. Yes. Well, regardless, I mean, it was good to see you out there, doing your thing, and you had a great pace.
Yeah, appreciate you too.
Yeah, appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, congrats as well to Rabin for the win.
Thank you. That was actually a very thorough interview, probably the most I've ever had. Darragh, you got some questions, mate, I'm sure.
Oh no, Scorenzi's really covered it. I mean, congratulations, Scorenzi, because again, you've kept up the pace in terms of the championship picture. I mean, coming into this race, championship leader, Rabin, of course, second, so he's closed the gap a touch, but you're still in the championship lead. You've really pulled away from that sim racer, and he looks a little bit out of the picture. So well done. Just going into the last two races, I mean, Spa and Silverstone, are they two tracks that you're looking forward to, or are they not your best?
Spa was actually a really tricky one for me for a while. I wasn't able to dial in my setup around there until recently. So, I'm feeling pretty good for Spa. Silverstone is one of those tracks though that it's gonna be hit or miss. We'll see, to be honest with you. Sometimes I struggle around there for sure. So it's gonna just be one of those things where I just try to aim for a podium, try to stay out of the way of getting into any incidents. Not trying anything risky, just making sure that I consistently get points in those final 2 races and just see where it goes from there.
Yeah, and I can absolutely back up those comments about Silverstone being a bit of a hit and miss track. I've won there, and I've also come last in the same league around there. So
It might rain.
yeah, yeah, that's true. It's a difficult little track, and you're right to say that it might be an interesting race, especially in the last couple of weeks. But thanks to the both of you for joining in for an interview, as Alex said. His first interviews, I'm sure, Alex. You're very pleased, Alex.
I'm very
But
excited.
we will be back tomorrow night for PRL Tier 2 around Qatar. But, of course, we have got 2 more races to go in Tier 1. Next week, we will be going around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. An interesting round, maybe a little bit of drama before we go to Silverstone in the final week. You won't want to miss those 2. Myself and Alex will take you through those. But my thanks to Alex for joining me this evening and for pushing all the buttons for making the broadcast look absolutely wonderful. But we will see you tomorrow night for Tier 2 and next Tuesday for Tier 1 in PRL. We return for some more great racing action.